I hope to God the CIA was not involved in the assassination of a U.S. president, because that will rock this country.
Do you think
to its
so?
core. I think so. I mean, we were talking earlier about just my fear that this sort of new generation of Americans is not proud, is not patriotic, doesn't love this country, is skeptical about their government. And I just think that if that becomes true, and that the CIA was involved in killing JFK, I mean, I think we are, I don't know if as a country we recover from that.
Do you have a sense of what people believe now? Like, I know obviously nothing's confirmed, and the reason I say this is because there's been a long time where people were talking about UFOs, right? And UFOs were, something that the government didn't comment on, et cetera, et cetera. Now it's come out that, hey, look, they've changed the name. They're UAPs or whatever, but they talk about them openly. And some of them, they say, we don't know what these are, blah, 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 et cetera. And the American people are kind of just like, yeah, we know. And I feel like that would be the sense from at least most young people. Like if it was like, oh, CIA did it. Yeah, we know. I mean, if you have a different, outlook,
I think it's one thing to have a theory of the case, based on your own views, your own ideologies. I think it's another thing for the U.S. government to release information after all these years that demonstrates that the CIA was responsible for the assassination of the U.S. president. I worry about our country if that's true.
Hypothetically,
me too, and I think it's true.
Hypothetically. What happens? What does the Trump administration do if that turns out to be the evidence?
Well, look, I think part of the problem with this whole issue has been the lack of transparency over decades, which has fed so many conspiracy theories. And I think the Trump administration is right to finally disclose this to the American people. And now, if it's true, again, I'm skeptical, but if it's true, we're going to have to reckon with this. Quite possibly one of the ugliest episodes in American history.
Do you shut down Langley? Do you? I mean, because
and I gotta say, there's a strong incentive for Trump to want this to be true, considering what happened with him, with the 51 intel officers who said the laptop and all that stuff. Maybe the real reason Trump is like, we're declassifying the JFK files, is that you are going to find either willful negligence. At minimum, there's going to be some implication, I think, for government failure. And you can go the official route and say, how did they allow this guy to get a shot off on Kennedy? Or you can go to the most extreme end, saying it was quite literally the CIA that orchestrated the whole thing. Either way, it looks like it'll be damaging. Trump could use that damaging to say, we need an overhaul of this agency, an agency that largely targeted him. That's revenge.
Look, what's always puzzled me about, I'm not an expert on JFK assassination, but so Lee Harvey Oswald is the single shooter, kills JFK. Jack Ruby, right, who works for the mob, kills Lee Harvey Oswald and goes to jail for the rest of his life and never breathes a word. And it just always fascinated me. I mean, Ruby took out Lee Harvey Oswald? Why?
Right.
Why did he not want him to testify?
Yep.
And publicize the involvement of somebody in that assassination? It's always fascinated me and puzzled.
Well, he didn't go to jail you can say jail for the rest of his life, but he died right away.
In jail, right?
Within what is it? He died that year.
Interesting.
Yeah, he died in 1967.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's always intrigued me. But again, I just want to get back to this.
So it was several years later, sorry.
Trump may have an incentive. Trump may want to, go after the CIA for the things that were done against Trump. And certainly there are, 51, as you say, senior intel officials who not only deserve to have their security clearances revoked, which he did.
Yeah, I think
should have their reputations permanently damaged.
They should be prosecuted.
Let me tell you.
But having said that, I do think the CIA performs an important service in defense of America. I think the FBI performs an important service in defense of America. I think U.S. military.
I do not.
I don't want to see these institutions gone. I think it's dangerous for our country. I do, however, want to see.
What does the FBI do?
A massive overhaul.
FBI.
Yeah.
Well,
FBI. You said FBI say, like, I'm gonna tell you. Certainly, we can take the Kash Patel route and say these people should be enforcing the law. Go out and fight crime. That's what you should be doing. But they're operating like it's COINTELPRO. What is the CIA doing? Why is what benefit? Let me put it this way. There is a country, the United States, The vision for this country and the perception of this nation in the minds of the people for a long time has been that it is the will of the people through a constitutional republic that the structures of government will abide by what the people largely vote for, who the representatives they send to Washington and to their states, to their capitals. That's what it's supposed to be. For the longest time, the CIA took it upon itself to do what it thinks is right. And the American people have no idea. It's become a zombie state. So if you were to make the argument, the CIA does good to protect this country, no, the CIA does good to protect the CIA. The CIA has interests. The FBI has interests. The NSA have interests. The American people do not agree with those interests. If the CIA, FBI, the intel agencies were actually operating under what the American people wanted, we would have a secure southern border and no war in Ukraine. Instead, what we get the whole time is the CIA protecting only itself and what it perceives, the people in the CIA and the FBI, what they perceive to be the right thing to do. If the American people vote to shut down the petrodollar, resulting in a unipolar communist Chinese party state, the American people voted for it. I do not believe we should live in a country where a deep state bureaucracy operating behind the scenes dictates for us what it thinks we should get. And that's what we've gotten our whole lives. Maybe that means we lose. Well, that's what America is, and that's what America is supposed to be. And I do not accept that we should be a nation of secret institutions guiding the blind American public into war and conflict because it's the best thing for them, so say I, the secret cabal of individuals working in intelligence. The American people voted for Donald Trump. They want these institutions brought to heel. They want a secure southern border, and it's about time we got it. And if that means these corrupt institutions that largely only believe in themselves stop doing what will make Americans prosperous, will stop making us the big name all around the world, whatever it may be, American people never wanted that. American people never wanted to be at war in Ukraine, never wanted to be at war in Israel, never wanted to be at war in Afghanistan, never wanted to go to war in these places. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.